Alright, so in this video, I want to make a quick update on this move to the upside that we've gotten. I want to take a look at market ciphers, see how things are looking, and I want to discuss the possibilities that could happen from this as price is now approaching a very significant high. So to recap what I was looking at from my last two videos, basically I was saying that if we got above the value area high of this larger range that we're in, we're more than likely going to rotate up to the high. I didn't think there was much resistance. It was actually looking like it could be a very quick move to the upside if we got above the value area high. And yeah, it has been a very quick move to the upside because there wasn't much in terms of price action to stop us. We had a very quick move down here, kind of, choppy move, still putting in lower highs though, not really taking any liquidity, leaving stop losses above these highs, and then we got a very aggressive drop. So it was very easy for price to, basically get a move back above there once we broke above the value area high, which, I was looking at as the most significant resistance for us. And I made my last video as price was actually breaking out of this range. And I was taking a look at Market Cipher. I was saying, yeah, we are seeing some bearish signs here. But, I wanted to see further confirmations to really think that, we were just going to SFP this high, maybe, get a little move above the value area high and then come back down. I wanted to see the coming back down part. And I also wanted to see some things on the lower time frames kind of back the higher time frames up. And there was some conflicting signs, this kind of seems like it was a bit of a trap because we did have a lot of bearish divs as we took out that high, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that shorted this. But I was looking at, all the time frames pretty much from the 4 hour down, and I was seeing some conflicting signs on the 1 hour, the 2 hour. I know the 15 minute at the time was looking very bullish, so there were some divergences on the higher time frames, but it was not a very clear sign. Like we weren't seeing clear bearish divs on every time frame, and we also didn't really see price give us any indication that it was going to come back down. It basically just kept trudging its way up, never really getting a significant retrace, never breaking market structure, nothing. So there was no reason to short this, in my opinion. And I did end up taking one trade pretty much since my last video. I was scalping the little ranges that we were forming on the way up, and I was pretty much prioritizing longs because, well, I figured we broke above the value area high. At this point, let me see where my entry is. We were getting above the golden pocket, so we were kind of showing that, this wasn't really going to act as resistance. And I mean, it still could have. But here's the thing, this long trade that I took, like I said, I was trading the context of the local ranges. So, even if, let's say this long trade started playing out a little bit, maybe came up to this local range high, and then that was it. And then from there, we actually started dumping, and yeah, we basically did reject from the golden pocket because this happened right around the golden pocket. If that happened, that's fine because by the time we came up to the high, I already took profits on this trade. I already locked it in. And so basically, I was trading the lower time frame range context, but keeping in mind that, hey, we might really pump from here. And I can't go over how I entered this trade, at least not, all of these strategies I used. One confluence I was looking at, though, something I can mention is just this break above VWAP and then the retest. We had the VWAP snap on the daily close, so the VWAP reset, price got to move below VWAP, then got above it, held it as support, and I entered soon later. But the main thing I used to enter this trade was a smart money concept, White Phoenix style trade. I can't talk about that on the channel, but yeah, basically I entered a low time frame scalp. I had a clear as day local target, and yeah, I thought it could continue running from there. And I am still in this long. You can see it's a pretty ridiculous risk reward. The 36R trade up to my final take profit, which is right up around here. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's front running this high a little bit. But I'm not capturing a full 37% risk reward. I'm not getting a 30% profit on this trade because I took partials. If I can drag this position down to this high, originally this was only a 3R trade up to my pretty much first target of this, and I did take out a significant portion of the trade here. I also took some out once we broke up aggressively and kind of started wicking down. And I also marketed out a little bit of profits over in this area. So yeah, I'm not capturing a full 37% on this trade, but it is a very good trade. And you may say, well, why didn't you just let the trade ride if you thought it was going to pump all the way up to the highs? And that's just because this is how I trade. I set local targets, I then set midterm targets, and then I have a final target for my trade. And sometimes I let my trades ride past them. In this scenario, I have a limit order set to close out my whole trade up in this area because that's good enough for me basically. Uh, and my final target for this trade is this high. Could we keep going above that potentially? But in this scenario, I think it is more than enough to take out my full position at this high. That is a good enough target. And as for why I take profits early, as some may say, that's because, the way I trade, this is how I find the most success. If I, take ridiculous trades, like if I look for a 37 risk reward trade and just set one take profit up here, I've found that, I'm probably not going to make as much money as if I'm taking consistent trades like this, locking in profits, setting my stop loss to entry once I hit my TPs, and, from there, letting it ride if it can. If not, if I get stopped out, I look for another trade. That's the way I trade. That's how I find, works best for me. It's more consistent than just setting these, crazy targets and kind of just hoping that it will hit. So, in hindsight, do I wish I just kind of did nothing with this trade, didn't take any profits here, here, here? I mean, yeah, because I'd be up a lot of money right now. But looking at the bigger picture, trading this way is what I believe will give me the most success. So I will, always be responsible, and I'll take profits where I think is most necessary. And in this case, I entered this trade, trading within the context of this range, so I'm going to take profit at the opposite end of the range. Those are my rules, and I follow my rules because they help me avoid catastrophic mistakes. So, with that out of the way, now let's talk about what I'm looking at in terms of this larger range. And, basically, the only thing I'm really watching right now is this high. I mean, I'm also watching local price action. There's a few scenarios that could happen here. We could get a move up to here in SFP, the high of the range, and, that would probably give a higher likelihood of rotating back to the opposite end of the range. We could get a move up here and break this range bullishly with a very significant close of a high time frame candle. And I mean, at that point, there's potential that we go higher. And my opinion on this. I think based on the daily time frame right now, breaking the range to the upside is less likely than just SFPing it and then rotating back down and continuing to trade in this range. I think this scenario is more probable, but if we get a very bullish close, then I'm not going to be sitting here expecting a rotation when we have evidence that we're probably going higher. So that would be scenario 2. And I guess scenario 3 is we never even come up to touch this high. We just kind of top out where we are, maybe start breaking market structure, and at that point, hey, maybe we just put in a lower high in this higher time frame structure because although it was a very poor break on the daily time frame, it was still a break. We could put in a lower high for a lower low. And quickly running through Market Cipher, I'll start off, let's start on the weekly time frame, see if anything changed. So, okay, we have a green dot here now. I actually haven't looked at the weekly time frame yet, so this is news to me. We have a green dot here. But again, it's looking like if we do get a move up here, relatively soon, like I'd say before the next weekly close, if that happens, then we're probably going to see divergences here. We would not have divergences with money flow. Money flow looks like it's actually trying or is putting in a higher high as we speak. So that is very interesting. The weekly time frame money flow is still not looking bearish at all, really. Looking at the daily time frame, yeah, we see pretty much what I thought could happen. This wave came up to take out, this local lower high in terms of momentum. But we still have potential to see divergences here if we take out the high. Then as long as this wave does not take out this wave, then we could still see divergences here. And it is looking pretty likely that we will see divergences with money flow as well. So is it possible that we end up breaking the range to the upside and we see momentum come up to avoid the divergences? Or maybe it doesn't even do that. Maybe it still puts in a div, but price breaks out of the range, so it just keeps going higher. And, maybe then the money flow starts to come back in. Could we see that? Yeah, it's possible. but I find it pretty unlikely that we would get this sharp of a reversal in terms of money flow with literally just this little tiny dip into the red like that. That looks kind of odd to me. I wouldn't expect that. But again, if we break this range significantly to the upside, then at that point, I'd say, all right, this looks weird, but we probably will see continuation to the upside, even if price maybe then comes back down for a little bit and then pushes back up. That actually could be a possible scenario where maybe money flow then cools off for a little bit as price just comes down to put in this higher low, and then maybe we can see money flow really turn around. So we still have divergences on the 4-hour, but the 4-hour money flow is making its way to the upside right now. It's kind of seeming like it has this parabolic curve to it, and what that means is it's just curving to the upside. It looks like it could kind of go on this trajectory. And that could change if price quickly wicks up to the high and then starts dumping. Then we'll probably see a divergence here still, but it's getting close. Money flows on the way to the upside. It could void the divergences, and we do not have any divs with momentum. The 2-hour looks bullish as heck. Money flow is really showing that parabolic trajectory. We do have some local momentum divs as we put in a higher high here, so maybe this momentum div means that we could get a retrace before we come up to the high. But again, money flow looks really bullish, so I would not be surprised if we just kind of got to move up pretty soon. And we can look at some lower time frames. 1 hour is similar. We see some divs, but money flow is looking bullish as heck. 30-minute, we are starting to see money flow take a turn to the downside on the 30-minute a little bit. Same on the 15. So some of the lower time frames, money flow is starting to come out a little bit. And that could mean that price just wants to range here for a little bit. It could mean that price wants to retrace a little bit. Or maybe this anchor wave that we're printing down here just kind of causes price to get another move to the upside. It's kind of hard to tell. But with the 1 hour and 2 hour money flow being this bullish looking, I really would not be surprised if we get a wick to the upside at any point. All right, well, that's pretty much it for this video. Just want to make a quick update since price was getting some interesting price action here. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, subscribing, leaving a comment. All that helps to support my channel. I appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video.